I would like to talk to the Decepticons out there, the world. Some of the Sony fanboys seem to have something like mixed up or something of that nature to make it seem like I'm targeting PlayStation. That's clearly not the case. I don't target PlayStation. I talk about what Sony's allowing PlayStation to do and don't do. That's the key here. I love PlayStation. I'm one of the biggest PlayStation fans out there. I'm one of the biggest Xbox PC/cloud gaming fans out there. That's not the case. I'm not against PlayStation, but I am against Sony. I don't like the way they run their business. So being that said, I had to clear that up because I think it confused somebody. I think I'm coming at PlayStation. I'm not coming at PlayStation. I'm coming at Sony because I don't like the way they do business, bro. They are so anti-consumer. Let me break it down to what they're doing. Now, I had got in these gaming streets some news, So I'm sitting here just listening to all the bloggers and vloggers, right? And you know what really got me irritated is what Sony did, right? The fans clearly say we want a Days Gone sequel, right? They want a sequel. They want a part 2 to Days Gone. So you know what they did? Do you know why we actually are getting a remake to The Last of Us? It's a reason for that. These two tie in together. The fan base asks, PlayStation asks, and the fan base asks, can we get a sequel? Go look it up on Twitter if you think I'm capping. So they want them to make a sequel to Days Gone, right? No. Do you think they gave them a sequel? They want to make a movie. They say, no, we're going to budget the movie. We're not going to do what you want us to do. We're not going to do that. So, I mean, really, guys, like really, how that's not being anti-consumer? How that's not being selfish and all of the above? How that's not being, disloyal to the fan base? And that's the part that I'm talking about. They're being disloyal to their fan base. They will not give them what they asked for. And that's why I'm standing up for what's right. Either side. If anyone does anything wrong, trust me, I'm standing up for what I feel like is what's right, because we don't have enough people standing up for what's right. And that's why this continues to happen. That's why we're not getting what we're asking for. It's more people defending what Sony is doing instead of giving them pushback and saying, hey, no, that's not right. We don't want a Days Gone movie. We want a sequel. They want a part 2 to the game. Yes, it may have not sold as much as Spider-Man, but you have still a pretty much large fan base on PS4 and PS5 that will love that game. They would love to see a part 2, but you can't get a part 2 because Sony, being anti-consumer as they is, greedy, grimy, arrogant and cocky. You can't tell them anything because they're billionaires and trillionaires at the top. So they look down on their fan base, which I would like to touch on another thing. The reason why they do look down on their fan base is because these Sony ponies have boosted their ego and confidence so high to now Sony looks down on them. See, now they don't think they can do anything wrong. That's why they're not going to give you a part 2 to Days Gone game. They're gonna if they do it, they're gonna feel like they're forced to do it, and it may not be right. They're gonna feel like, oh well, I guess we'll do it because it's an uproar and people are kind of like upset about it because they're like, why would you make a movie? This is not what we're asking for. This is what I have been telling you guys since day one. They're not your friend when it comes to money. Any business deals, they feel like the movie would probably bring them more money than the game. That's what I feel. I feel like they feel like it's either going to bring more hype around Sony. See, now it's not even about, because a movie, that's a production company. They can have anybody make that movie. That don't have nothing to do with PlayStation anymore. So now they're splitting the fan base up, having to decide, do I want to, support the movie or do I want to support the game? That's not right. I'm sorry. Why would you want to split the fan base up and focus on movies? Focus on the movie later. Okay, we don't tell the full story through the games. If you need to make a game, 1, 2, and 3 video games of the game, and then go back and make the movie. You only made one game, and now you're gonna go back and tell it. Now, The Last of Us, okay, I was cool with that when I heard they were gonna make a show or whatever with that. But the remake, I wasn't cool with. Once I found out why they are making a remake, they gave them budget because it would be cheaper to just go ahead and remake the game instead of building up a new game and bringing all these new employees and these hundreds of employees in probably to even design a new one, because of the graphics and the PS5 is a lot more powerful. So they're going to probably want to just make it a PS5 exclusive and for PC. We already know it's coming to PC. PC's taking all PlayStation games. So they did not want to give the fans what they wanted, and that's what I'm saying, guys. Y'all gotta man, y'all see the Sony fanboys, they think whatever they say, Sony's gonna listen to them. But they've been brainwashed for so long, they don't see Sony is doing the total opposite of what they're asking. You know what I'm talking? The diehard fans will know they're not doing. They're going to this is not the same Sony. They're going in a totally different direction. I don't even know their identity anymore. They're trying to copy Xbox Game Pass on certain things. They're trying to copy their ecosystem. They're trying to squeeze it into PC. They're trying to do that. They're trying to do the whole PC thing. They're trying to do the Game Pass thing. Now they're trying to do the movie thing. It's like they're dibbing and dabbing into everything, and we really don't know the direction that Sony wants to go in. That's the thing that I'm talking about. Like, what do you really want to do? Do you want to do movies? Do you want to do cloud gaming, streaming services? Do you want to do Game Pass? What direction are we going in? Because the fans are getting confused. You're doing remakes. Look at, they're dibbing and dabbing into everything, and the fans are sitting here screaming and hollering at the bottom saying, hey, Sony, we need more games. Okay, we need more games that we're asking for. What Days Gone have hurt Sony so bad, hurt their pockets so bad to make a part 2 or a sequel? Mr. Top market share, the top of the market share, the top of the market. What Days Gone, just to make a Days Gone, to develop a Days Gone game, and you're spending $200-300 million to make Spider-Man movies, but you can't make a Days Gone game, a sequel for the fans, but you're gonna use that funding to make a remake of The Last of Us. Like, instead of giving the fan base what they want. That's the only point that I'm trying to make. Like, they're not doing the things that they're supposed to be doing, which all of the Xbox fans clearly can see their mistakes, because when you're looking from the outside in, you can see when people are making mistakes, and when they're actually going through it, they don't see it. So the Sony fanboys are going through it, so they don't really see where Sony is messing up at. Like, they're like, okay, they're not paying attention because they want their console to be almighty forever. They don't ever want Sony to have competition. They don't ever want the PlayStation to have competition. I'm just being real. They just feel like, move Nintendo and Xbox out of the way. Let it just be about Sony. No competition. That means, guess what? More remakes. Sony will never get better. They will never do anything for their fan base because they don't have anyone competing with them. Just like Apple and Samsung. If they didn't have each other, they would not be making phones that great. We would have the same sorry phones for back in the early 2000s because there's nobody to compete with. Even with chips, with Intel and AMD, we wouldn't have no good graphic cards out here for gaming, and RTX 380s and 3090s and all that. We won't have all this if it wasn't for competition. So competition is good. So that's why I would like to tell the Sony, Decepticon fanboy base that, because they just don't get it. You know what I'm saying? They thinking, oh, we only want PlayStation, we only want Sony. But this is what happened when you only have one person at the top. They don't listen. You get what I'm saying? Like, you can't get through to them. Like, why would you not give these people a part 2? Why wouldn't you give them gameplay? They've been asking for gameplay for God of War. They've been asking for release dates. They've been asking what is coming next year, because we already know Starfield Redfall is on the way. I don't know if Hellblade is going to come. Forza Motorsports is on the way, and they're asking, okay, well, what's next year for after God of War? What else? They're going to be hungry for more content, more games. But guess what? Oh no, they want you to support the movies. They want to move their fan base over to the movies, because they feel like, well, we know Microsoft, Xbox, and Game Pass can't compete in the movie division. So if they take over gaming, we got movies on lock. Now we're gonna bring everything over to the movies. And if a deal goes through with Netflix, they probably could compete in that area. But I don't know if that's the direction they want to go in. I think they're pretty much all in on Game Pass right now. I think Uncle Phil over there at Microsoft, I think he's all in on Game Pass. I don't think he really want to get too much. I mean, they have released Halos, and they may be going to movies, maybe with Paramount Plus or whatever. Halo is pretty cool show. I will be looking forward to Gears of War. If they bring Gears of War out, now it's going to be not console wars, it's going to be movie wars, because we already had an Uncharted versus Halo. I don't really want to put it up to Spider-Man is too big of a character, but yeah, man, back to what I was saying, man. The Sony fanboys have to understand that they're not going to listen to you if you don't put your foot down. If you allow them to continue to be anti-consumer, greedy, grimy, scheming, shady, backdooring Xbox, blocking games from coming to Xbox, blocking rights, doing these timed exclusive deals, locking down more Spider-Mans and Wolverines and Final Fantasies and Resident Evils and Capcom games, and I think Street Fighter DLCs, locking down Call of Duty special DLC packs only gonna come to PlayStation. Sony does these things, and it's irritating to the other fan base, because they're like, okay, how are y'all letting them get away with all of that? And now that they can buy up anything, they can create anything. Okay, let's say they did have another Call of Duty out there that was just the biggest Call of Duty. Let's say Fortnite. Let's say if Sony wants to buy Fortnite and only have, if they make a Fortnite 2, only be released on PlayStation 5, PS5. Okay, should Xbox come at them the same way? Should they go to Brazil and snitch on them and say, hey, I don't think Fortnite 2 needs to come to I don't think it needs to come to PS5. You get what I'm saying? Like, how are you going to stop that? They want to block these deals and lock them down, but they don't want Xbox to block them. So if it was a Fortnite 2 in the works, let's just say it was a Fortnite 2, and Sony says, hey, we want to lock that down or do a timed exclusive deal for like 2 to 5 years, we get it first. Should Xbox go and try to block that deal? Would it be okay with the Sony fanboys, Sony ponies? Would that be okay? Would you approve of that? See, when you ask them a question like that, they get confused. They don't. Oh well. We already felt like Sony. They make the quality games. They deserve it. They're the OG. Okay, we get it, but how is that still fair? It won't be fair if they go try to lock it down. They already locked down Spider-Man, for example. Why didn't Xbox go and try to block that? And we knew how big Spider-Man was going to be. We knew how big Spider-Man was going to be. So why didn't Xbox go block that deal? But it's okay. It's always okay when it's on Sony's side. For some reason, if it's on Sony's side, it's, I guess because they brainwashed everybody that's just what they do. They lock down stuff. They're an exclusive console, which is Xbox is more of an open multi-plat console, multi-plat console. It's kind of like an Android. You know how kind of like Apple locks down everything. Like they don't really like to let a lot of recording apps and photo apps, photography apps get out there on Android. Like it's like if you go to Apple, you have way more better photography apps for camera apps on Apple than you do Android, because they feel like if this is just exclusive to us, our fan base is going to be a bigger fan base, because they're going to be diehards, because they know they can't get this product anywhere else. And that's just how they think. But now, being that we're moving in a new generation, that old way of thinking, like they're thinking back in the 90s, like they're thinking like, okay, this idea is still going to work now in this generation. So you're gonna try to block Call of Duty deal. You're gonna give us a Days Gone movie and not give us a Days Gone sequel, a part 2 that the fans, you and I both know the fans have been asking for that. I don't know how long they've been asking for it, but when I seen it and I seen the Last of Us TV show or whatever coming out, okay, they're funding for the movies, but they don't want to fund for the game. The PS5s are selling like hotcakes, but they don't want to give the fans what they want. Like, they don't want to show their appreciation. Sony don't want to show their appreciation. They're going to show you that we're going to do it our way, and if it backfires on them, it backfires. If the movie flops and it don't do good, that is going to be a big L. That's what I'm saying. That's the point I'm trying to make. You're saying you don't want to make the game, but the game may bring you way more money than the movie in the end. And especially if it comes to PC or PC Game Pass, it's going to make triple the money back. So why not take that chance? Why not take that chance of just making the part 2 and make it come to PC or PC Game Pass and do the same thing that Death Stranding just did, what MLB The Show did? Why not do it that way and make your own fans happy? You know what I'm saying? Instead of being anti-consumer and blocking deals and blocking rights and locking down stuff. See, this is the problem. They lock down the wrong things. They don't want to lock down what the fans are asking them to lock down. That's another thing I don't like that they do. If you sign a petition or something that they say, hey, Sony, you need to lock down this, and this, they're going to go in a whole different direction. Oh, we want to make movies now. We want to make movies. We want to work on our Sony production, our pictures, a Sony production company. We don't games. We'll get back to games later. It don't matter whatever we put out. PlayStation fans are gonna buy it. That's the way they think of you guys. Like, oh, you're gonna get it. The Sony fanboys, the Sony ponies they're gonna defend it. Oh well, they need to make a movie so that we can catch up for the sequel. They're gonna make a part 2 to the sequel. When? We're still waiting. You know what I'm saying? That's the point that I'm trying to make, guys. If the Sony fanboys don't put their foot down, they're not going to do what you're asking. And by you supporting it, if you're supporting that $70 price tag and the games don't see a decline, they're going to keep it up. If the games are doing good, they're gonna just leave it there, because there's no reason to stop it. Stop gypping people and digging into their pockets. Every time you want to get a game, you got to drop another 70. I mean, it's not fair for everybody. Yes, a lot of people do have a lot of money, but at the same time, a lot of people don't have a lot of money. So what about the people that don't have a lot of money? So you just forget about that fan base? You get what I'm saying? It's not fair. That's why I said the anti-consumer comes in, because it's not fair. It's like, okay, we don't care. Don't buy it. You know what I'm saying? When they say don't buy it, then everything comes to PC. Now it's a problem. Now it's an issue, because now everybody is getting a discount on Game Pass. Now that's a problem. Now guess what? Now we're going to go down to Brazil and complain that we don't want Call of Duty to come to Game Pass, because that's going to mess up our PlayStation sales. But you didn't even want to make a sequel to Days Gone. So why are you even worrying about it messing up PlayStation sales in the first place? You see how crazy that gets? And that's what starts the console wars. That's what starts the beef. Everybody got smoke with each other and everything gets out of control, because of one greedy company that nobody can tell anything to, and they want to just spread out the money against everything. Oh, we're going to make movies, and we're going to make games. We're going to make all these new game movies out here, and it's confusing everybody, because they're like, okay, what direction are we going in? We may have people that don't even watch that many movies. They are gamers, die-hard gamers. They don't care. They probably haven't watched an hour of a movie in a year. They only want to game all day. Think about the young fan base. They just game all day. They don't watch movies like that. They ain't Netflix and chilling. They're gaming with their boys and their girls and friends. They don't care about all that crazy, that madness that's up there at Sony office, the CEOs. You know? And I just want to touch on that topic because we got some Decepticons out here, some Sony fanboys out here just being real toxic, thinking that I'm coming at PlayStation. It's not coming at PlayStation. It's coming at Sony, the company. I love PlayStation. I love to play PlayStation. I'm always gonna be on PlayStation. I love Xbox. I'm always gonna be on Xbox. I love PC, cloud gaming, Nintendo. I'm a gamer. But if I got an argument or if I feel like I gotta stand up for what's right to help you guys game better and get games brought to the platform that we love and stand up and call out Sony on what they're doing wrong, and Xbox too. All these delays, I'm not cool with all these delays. I'm getting real frustrated every time I turn around. It's another delay. So both of them can get it if they're messing up. But you know, I think I'm gonna leave it about right there, man. We're gonna dive into something else a little later. I got a little special surprise for those Game Pass Xbox boys over there. Yeah. So till later on, guys, you already know what to do, man. Smash that like, that subscribe button, click that notification bell so you guys can be notified on all of the new latest and greatest news out here in these gaming streets. And please